Hey guys, I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about the state of mods for Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries here in January of 2024. I'll kind of talk about the mods that I'm using, what I like, and show you a load order. So you can see I've got here on the screen Mechwarrior 5 load order toolset. This is a load order tool that was created by a community member, a modder, who basically gave us a way to set a load order for a lot of the mods. If you use mods at all, you may have noticed that sometimes mods conflict with each other and clash. If you set a load order for those mods, though, where they load in a particular order, then you don't have issues. So there are some mods where this is necessary. A lot of mods where it's not necessary. I use it just because I've had issues in the past, and I have a load order here that works, and so I like to always keep it running. I cannot actually remember which mods need it and which ones don't, but it's probably close to 50-50. I'd say about half of these mods, it just runs better when you have a specific load order set to them. So, that said, I'm going to run through the mods that I'm currently using on my playthrough that you can watch on my channel. I will be changing some of them. I'm going to start a new playthrough soon, a new career, and I'm going to change some of the mods. I may talk about that towards the end of the video today. But anyways, this is what I'm using right now, so I'll go through what each mod is, kind of what it does, and then you'll notice my load orders here. I've got it ordered in the load order here. So the first ones that are loaded are at the top, and then the last ones loaded are at the bottom. All that means is the first ones that are loaded will be, if they affect some of the same things as other mods, the mods that are loaded first will then be overwritten by mods that are loaded after it. So that's the purpose of a load order. If you have multiple mods that kind of affect similar things or the same things, this just tells the game which one to use, essentially, just to simplify it. So anyways, and also you'll notice I left some gaps in load order, like from 9 to 19 and whatever. That's just so that later on I can go in and throw, if I download some newer mods that I wanted to put in the middle here or somewhere, I don't have to reorder everything. I can just throw it in between. But I generally keep them all grouped together, like all the YAML set of mods are all grouped together in the 20s, basically, things like that. So let's run through this. You can see the order that I use. This is an order that works as of today. So if you're struggling to find a good load order for all your mods and you're running into problems, try this out. Anyways, the first one that I have here is the Mechwarrior 5 compatibility pack. This is just a community asset pack that other mods can use. So it's good to have. I don't remember what all actually use that, but I just always keep it in there and on in case I do have mods that need to call on assets from that pack. So I load that first. After that comes mod options. This is basically a mod that gives a menu in game for controlling settings from other mods. So a lot of other mods will use this in order to provide you in-game settings for their mod. So I just go ahead and load that second, and I always keep that one in there as well. Von HUD. So this is a lot of people are familiar with VonBiomes. He also created a HUD mod. I like it, so I continued using it since I first tried it. There's a couple things I'm not crazy about. For example, on the mini map or the battle grid, certain biomes, I think there's one that has like an orange background color on the map. It makes it hard to see the red icons of enemies on your battle grid. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I wish we could get a different color there and make sure that none of the colors on that battle grid background are making it difficult to see other stuff. But it is kind of cool. It's a nice little HUD mod if you want to change things up. So I've kept that. I also have Yeti's jump ship animation. I think there's two mods for removing the jump ship animation from the game, which apparently is not actually needed. It's just thrown in there as extra. So a couple people created mods to remove that. I'm using Yetis right now. I think CS Zoli created the other one. As far as I know, that one still works as well. This just happens to be the one that I have installed currently. I actually just installed this as well. If you've been watching my videos lately, you probably noticed that the animation was still in there. I used to have this mod. Actually, I think I had the other one, CS Zoli. I think I had his mod, but at some point it got removed. And I think when I got my new computer and I installed a bunch of mods on this machine, I ended up missing that one somehow. So I just now went back and reinstalled that. Star map mouse over. This is just a mod where when you're on the star map, when you move your cursor over different systems, it'll actually show you information about the missions that are there, like their tier level, what the missions actually are, what type of mission, and who the factions are for it. So that's really helpful. You don't have to actually fly to each system to see what the missions there are. The multi-missions will not tell you what missions are in the multi-mission. You'll just see multi-mission. But other than that, you can see everything just at a glance without flying around. So that's a huge improvement in my opinion. So I go ahead and load that one next. Then we got Advanced Career Start. This is just additional options and settings that you can use when you're creating a new career. So I use that, or it's in there for whenever I do start new careers and I want to have those additional options. Volatile. This is one of those mods that affects the explosions and ballistics and all that stuff. The visuals in the game. I believe it's only visuals. It may have audio files in there as well. But anyways, it's just kind of nice. The vanilla game is kind of lacking on that side, on the special effects of the explosions and weapon impacts and that kind of stuff, the fire and all that. So it's nice to have a mod that increases that a little bit. There are other mods that do this. In my opinion, they overdo it a little bit. So far, I've found this volatile mod is just the right amount. It doesn't make it too hard to see in game, but it still adds some of that realism and special effects to the game for you. So the next one that I have is the Mechwarrior 5 Portrait Overhaul. This just adds a whole bunch of new portraits to the game for your pilots. I like the quality of them better than what we had previously, so I use that. It's just kind of an aesthetic thing, doesn't really matter. Next we have Harmonic Warfare. Now this one, let me check real quick. I believe, yeah, this is the mod. I just started trying this one out, I think this week or so. It changes up the music in the game. It takes music from a lot of the titles, so I think like MechWarrior 2, MechWarrior 3, 4, and whatnot. Maybe even the Mech Assault games. I'm not sure on that. I liked the music from the Mech Assault games, from what I remember, and so I was kind of hoping some of that was in there. I'm trying this out. So far, the music all seems kind of the slower background type music. We'll see. I'm trying it out. We'll see if it's got some good. It's supposedly just because it's a mix of a lot of different titles, music, if I remember right from the description of the mod. I thought it'd be good to mix it up a bit. The vanilla soundtrack gets a little stale after a while. You hear the same. It doesn't have a lot of depth and variety to it. So that's another just kind of extra one I threw in there to try out. Now we get to the YAML set of mods here. So I am playing with the YAML set. I'm not using MercTech or any other MechLab mod. I've played with MercTech in the past, but I found the development of it and the updates were a bit slower coming, and I had more issues with it. So I'm using YAML for now, and I like it. It's a really good, solid set of mods. So we'll run through it real quick. Yet another MechLab. That's the base mod that gives you the whole changes to the MechLab there. Yet another weapon. This just adds a bunch more weapons that you can use. Yet another weapon clan. Kind of self-explanatory. Adds clan weapons to the game. Yet another clan mech. Again, self-explanatory, as well as yet another IS mech, which is Inner Sphere mech. And so this just adds more clan mechs and Inner Sphere mechs to the game. We've got exotic Inner Sphere mechs. This is a mod not by the same creators as YAML, but it's made to work with YAML. Just adds some more exotic Inner Sphere mechs to the game. Yet another special variant. So this adds some different variants of mechs to the game. Some interesting ones in there. But it spices things up, so you're not running into the exact same builds of mechs in every mission, all the missions. There's more variants in there that may show up, which is nice. Just adds more variety to the game. Yet another equipment. This is, again, just adding a bunch of equipment, new equipment to the game, which is good. Yet another Mech Lab mechs. Trying to remember what this one does. I think this is the one that adds the mechs into, adds the new mechs and everything into the existing mission, or the campaign missions and stuff. I believe that's what that one is. Lore-based mech variants. Kind of self-explanatory. It just adds some more variants into the game. Yet another legendary mech is adding some legendary, I guess, hero mechs to the game. Classic mech collection. So this one is by another author as well, mod author, who's adding some classic mechs, and it's all. This one is the lore friendly, I think, version. Anyways, so that they spawn. Or no, this is lore accurate. So their spawn dates are the introduction dates for these mechs is I guess accurate to lore as far as I've seen. So this is nice. It just adds some variety in models. It does add some of the same mechs as like the clan mech. Yet another clan mech. You get the classic Timberwolf, classic Blood Asp, things like that. But it's neat to have variety in models. I feel like, and they're high quality models, and so I like using those. Along with that, the same this Catapult K2B. This was somebody created a Catapult K2 that has ballistic hardpoints instead of energy hardpoints for PPCs. So I thought that'd be interesting. I liked the idea of it, so I threw that in there. I haven't played with it yet. I haven't gotten one in game. But yeah, I thought that was a good idea. So I added that one in there. Nova Cat Classic. This is one, the mod author just came out with this Nova Cat, and I haven't seen the Classic Mech Collection updated with it yet, so I'm adding that in on its own. I'm a big fan of the Nova Cat, so I'm excited to try that out. He just released this one, so I haven't gotten any of haven't found one yet in game, but I'm looking forward to it. Now we'll move into some other mods that don't really affect the Mech Lab or mechs. Pilot overhaul, kind of self-explanatory. It overhauls the pilot system. This is where I believe this is the one. It allows you to upgrade your pilots essentially well beyond their what their level cap would be in the vanilla game. Yeah, so that's what that one does. Scary tanks. This is a fun mod. In the vanilla game, the tanks are just way too easy to kill. You can just step on them, right? No matter what the tank is. They also seem underwhelming. I mean, they're barely a nuisance. With the Scary Tanks mod, they're a lot tougher to kill. They have more armor. You can't step on them to kill them, any of them. And they do have a lot more weapons and stuff. So this makes tanks something that you actually have to deal with. And I think it just makes the game more fun, because in vanilla, the tanks almost seem like, what's the point, right? And it does affect VTOLs as well. So anyways, that's a good mod to have, in my opinion. Show nicknames Redux. This was just a mod I downloaded to change the nicknames of mechs in my mechbay, just to keep track. When I have the same mech multiple times, it's easier. You can actually see the nicknames that you name them with in all the different screens, so that's helpful. Now we get to a big one, Coyotes Mission. I'm sure most people are familiar with this mod. It's been around for a while and very popular. Honestly, one of the best mods out there. This really changes the game. The missions that you get, what happens in the missions, it adds a lot. So that's really a good one to have. It adds some new mission types, some of my favorite mission types. They're just a lot better and more fun than the vanilla mission types. And he adds some other stuff in there too, and he's always working on it. Coyote has a YouTube channel. If you're interested, go check it out. I think the channel name is Coyotekins or something like that. But yeah, good stuff. Love that mod. Better Cantina rewards, kind of self-explanatory. This just gives you better equipment rewards for finishing Cantina missions. Excuse me for a second. Okay. So that's nice to have. I haven't really, I mean, it doesn't, really change the game that much for me, but I was trying it out and I've just left it in there. I think it's fine. TT rules stands for Tabletop Rules AI mod, and TT rules Lancemate orders. So these two mods, basically the AI mod 2 changes the way that your AI pilots act. It allows you to set I guess behaviors for them. I think this mod does the behaviors where you can kind of set how they behave. That could be a different mod, but because that one is set through the mechs, not the pilots. But anyways, it just makes it so that they act a little bit smarter. They're still pretty dumb in the game, but it does make them at least a little bit smarter and more useful. Lancemate orders. This adds some additional orders that you can give to Lancemates. I honestly don't really use it much, but I've left it in there anyways. And then finally, VonBiomes. I mentioned this before. Most people know of VonBiomes. A really, really nice biomes. He's constantly releasing updates with new stuff. Definitely has increased the variety of biomes, and kind of, there's now underground caves and stuff that you can go inside of. Really beautiful stuff. He's added more intricate backgrounds. You'll have giant mountains in the backgrounds or some futuristic looking cities, space stations floating through the sky, large planets, beautiful colors, lots of things like that. So really a cool mod. It's large, and it will tax your machine a little bit if you have your settings turned up all the way for your display. But yeah, really a neat mod. I love the work he does as well. And I believe he also has a YouTube channel, so you guys can check that out. And he did the Von HUD, which I talked about earlier, VonBiomes, which was the main mod that he did, and then Von Missions. This right now, I don't know what his plans for the future are, but right now this adds the Solaris Arena missions, where you can go in and do light mech tournaments, medium mech, heavy mech, assault mech tournaments. So really cool, actually, and they're tough. I've played them. You need to have multiple mechs. So like if you're doing the light mech tournament, you gotta have, I think, like at least five different light mechs that are all equipped for battling in the arena, free for all style. They're tough, but they're fun. And so anyways, I really like that. I like what he's doing there. So basically that's all the mods that I'm currently using. Let me know if you have questions about any of these or suggestions of other mods that I can try. I've been looking at a couple that I want to do. There are some there's a replacement mod for which one? I think it's the Yet Another Equipment. There's a revamped, I think is what it's called, mod by a different creator, but basically it changes the way some of the equipment and stuff works in the mod. So I want to replace it with that, or replace this one with that one, and give it a try. And there's also another one that's kind of a sister mod to it that revamps the quirks on all the mechs, which I think is very much needed. I would like to see more unique quirks, more quirks on all the mechs, just to make the mech chassis a little more unique and different from each other. So I'm gonna try that one as well, but I'm gonna install those when I do my new playthrough here pretty soon. So we'll do that, and then I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm forgetting. I think that's pretty much it. There's some mods I don't use. I guess I could talk about that. Well, let's see. There's a mod that has like the armor. It has a wider range of colors that your armor damage will show up as on your paper doll. I don't like that one. I feel like it's too busy. I feel like the yellow, orange, red, it's simple. It gives me the information I need. I don't need all those other colors in the spectrum. So I don't use that one. I don't use the so there's a yet another clan invasion mod, I believe is what it's called. It adds a lot of like pirate equipment and stuff, which I've played with it. So I've got a couple issues with that mod, and which are why I don't use it. A lot of the pirate weapons are just like cheater weapons. They are game breaking in my opinion. It's just not fun. So I've played with them. They're fun for about 5 minutes, right? And then you realize, well, there's nothing left to do in the game because you can just beat every mission, no problem. Anyway, so that, and then some of the mechs that it added, I just didn't feel like were high quality at the time. They may have been improved by now. I haven't used that mod in a little while. But anyways, they just weren't as high quality. A couple of the mechs, the targeting was a little off. With some of the weapon hard points, so that was annoying. The mech models were separating, like when you would jump jet through the air. I think the Hunchback would separate, the pieces of the model would kind of separate a little bit, and so it didn't look right. The paper dolls for all the mechs were just a basic paper doll. They didn't actually represent the shape of the mech chassis, which is a small thing, doesn't really matter for the game. Or for gameplay, but when all the other models have a paper doll that matches their model shape, it was just something that bugged me. I guess I'm a little OCD. So a lot of little things like that are the reason why I don't use that mod. I know like right now Baradul is using that in his playthrough. And there is some fun stuff in it. I just didn't feel like it was worth it for with the negatives that I had with it. So I think that's it. If you have questions about any other mods, I've tried a lot of the mods out there over the last couple of years. So feel free to leave a comment and ask. If you'd like to know more about any of these mods and what exactly they do, leave a comment. You and ask me there. I'll definitely reply. And if I need to make another video about anything dealing with the mods, I'll be happy to. I just wanted to run through it real quick and kind of show you guys what I'm currently using, what the load order is, so that if anybody's having issues with that, hopefully this will help. I'll put links to all of these mods from Nexus into the description of this video. So if you want to, get any of these, you can just find the link there. I think that'll cover it though. So yeah, if there's anything you guys want to know, if you want me to make a video on something in particular, leave a comment and I'll do anything I can to help with that. But that'll be it for now. Thanks for following along. This will be our mod guide for January of 2024. I may do updates to this video throughout the year if some other exciting mods come out. Otherwise, I'll just mention them in my playthrough videos as I add different mods throughout the year.